Hello everyone. Ever had one of those moments where you really felt dumb? Don't worry, after seeing this video, you'll feel much better. The mistakes these folks made are so absurd, you won't believe your eyes. Ready? Then let's get it on. This is what happens if you accidentally hit cables while digging. Now's the time to use some tape. That's the most uncompromising tow truck we've ever seen.
Bro! Oh my god! Oh my god! Yo! What the
Nobody's taking this truck from me.
Come on, Steve. What are you doing? Where are you going? Where are you going?
Not again.
He's gone.
Mensen, hoe heb je rijverf op je gekregen?
Die heb ik afgeknipt.
Kom je zo? Ga nou zo.
For winter, you need to not only change the tires on the forklifts, but also turn them into center sleigh.
How in the f***?
How to lose a couple $1,000 due to a silly mistake. Give a thumbs up to these guys for their incredible luck. Do you think it's about developing a strategy or just taking a break? things kicking off this way, you should just call it a day and head home.
आराम से ये चलो चलो
The primary exam for firefighters is taming the water hose.
Go. Push.
Fine. I'm so sorry.
कितना बजे को कैंपर पर जाकर कैंपर
Here's a quick way to take off a wheel. Don't forget to close the door when you're done.
Vale, ponle la pila. ¿Qué estás haciendo? Con la pila. No seas inútil, vale. Ándale. Ahora sí.
और से
Ahora sí, dale. Esa de ahí, esa.
¿Cuál?
Esta. Te la agarro. Ay, joder.
Next time, he won't ignore roadwork warnings. They don't even need eyewitnesses to investigate this incident.
Ozat kara 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 kara. Şş, gel.
Here's what it means to be paid by the hour.
Make that. Good job.
This is what it means to work hard, not smart. You can tell he's really enjoying his new job. I wonder what he's thinking right now. This is what it's like to have an extra tough day at work.
Guys, can someone tell me how long how do you access the job? How do you get up there? Rain will no longer be an excuse for him to take a day off.
Who's the rest of the top cat? Oh, no, ask him. Oh, no,
A typical first day on the job for a young intern.
You can get through there. You're not that big, boys. Boys, you can get through there, mate. Just get your leg over it.
Levántalo, levántalo. Maricón, pero igual acá, Dan. Oh, pero que uno. Ay, bueno. Lo vamos a hacer adentro. Esto lo haré. Chuy, que es el aire. Ay. ¿Y que tú me lo agarraste? ¿Tú me dejaste a mi cola? No, maricón.
You want the rest of this Kit Kat?
What?
You want the rest of this Kit Kat?
Sure.
Umur semen iki jatah lagi geminjal jatah ora kok geminjal lha iki ora sak ceplek lho iki lho.
They got paid just for the painting job, not for picking up the stones. There's definitely a spy from a competing company among them. Trust within that team had clearly already been undermined. Judging by the seam, it's his first day on the job. Someone should tell them they still have another 2 meters of wire. These guys should learn a thing or two about teamwork. This is what an almost perfect plan looks like. Do you think you'd have thought of something like this? Nothing brings a team together like a group dancing session. According to him, how comfortable you feel at work is completely up to you.
Foarte puternic voltat.
100% effort with 0% accuracy. As men get older, they just trade their toys for bigger ones.
Are you okay?
A life hack for escaping splattering hot oil.
Oh, you got something on your roof. Whoa.
Have you ever seen a tool like this?
Alright, we just finished this deck. It's about 46 foot long. We're gonna show you the level we did on it. Tell me someone that does it this good. Shit, haven't you?
Did you feel that too? Proof that not everyone can handle his job. Drifting on a big rig with a trailer is always a recipe for disaster. The reason your home still hasn't been completed. It's important not to do it right after lunch. He found a way to take a day off. She'll only be able to get it if she fills the tank completely. When he sells it, he'll insist that the trunk was used exclusively for a first aid kit. One board alone is unlikely to fix this issue. Hello, everyone. Agave harvesting is no simple job, though watching this guy do it, you'd never guess. Taking apart a car isn't something just anyone could do. It's as intricate as a complicated surgery.
Okay. Oh, yeah, good girl.
This guy showed what it means to work smarter, not harder. He probably views this work as a form of meditation. It turns out that to trim a bush into a perfectly square shape, you just need a delicate touch. Clay is a very delicate material, but this expert managed to make even a tiny pot perfectly smooth. He just makes a small hole and then fills it back in. But it's surprisingly mesmerizing to watch. Such a keen eye isn't just the result of years of practice, it's a natural talent. There's nothing quite like the satisfaction of seeing an old rug after it's been cleaned. It's nice to watch the bucket move through the clay like a knife through butter.
Посмотрите. Я вам подольше запишу ролик.
Just watch how this guy levels the floors in about 10 minutes. Look how quickly she managed to make that grill look brand new. When a company has an employee who writes with perfect precision, there's no need to hire a graphic designer. Every step of making a table from epoxy resin and wood is utterly fascinating. You need to have complete control over every muscle in your hands to draw so confidently without a sketch. Using a laser to remove old paint layers is a brilliant idea. Cutting out a shape so quickly without a million extra measurements is almost a superpower. does it so effortlessly. He should urgently patent this brilliant tool. The pot will come out perfectly smooth, thanks to the patience of the craftsman. The pastry chef has reached such a level of skill that all the desserts look exactly the same. In the hands of this genius, a piece of clay turned into an incredibly beautiful vase. If you want an omelette as thin as a piece of paper, call this guy. Someone might have given up on these sneakers, but he managed to bring them back to life. At this rate, they could probably paint all the roofs in the neighborhood in a day. He's reached the point where he should be training other workers. If he had an infinite amount of material, he could extend this line all the way to the end of the block. Instead of spending a fortune on a conveyor belt, they just hired him. At this point, all perfectionists should hit that like button. For him, work is just like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. desire to explore the unknown is a key part of what makes us human. Today, we'll satisfy that thirst for new discoveries and show you something you've never seen before. Let's get it on. Albino animals are always impressive, but white giraffes are incredibly rare. So rare that there's only one in the world. The cause is leucism, a genetic condition similar to albinism where the skin loses its pigment. Having a crocodile as a pet is already quite unusual, but this one is even more remarkable compared to other exotic pets. First and foremost, it's his size that makes him unique. It's as if this guy spent the whole summer at his grandma's house, and no is clearly not a word he understands. What skills do you think got this guy featured in this list? I bet you didn't expect this. Now you'll see Rapunzel with a Jamaican twist. The old man's attempts to untangle his dreads look like trying to untangle headphones. His hairstyle, with dyed tips and grey roots, looks like a timeline of his life.
Look. Yo. No, sir.
Do you have any idea what's going on here? You might be surprised, but this is how a helicopter searches for gold. That thing down there is a massive metal detector used to search for ore deposits. With such a massive receiver, you can detect deposits even several kilometers underground. You might be familiar with the concept of a floating island, but seeing one moved by motorboats is truly unusual, like something from a parallel universe. The more a person explores the vastness of the ocean, the more they come across creatures that seem like they're from another planet. One such creature even resembles an evolved plastic bag. If you've ever seen seals up close, you might have wondered, how do they manage to live underwater with noses like that? Here's the answer. In Planet of the Apes, chimpanzees ride horses, but these little ones are fine with dogs. The sport started back in the early 1900s, but public interest waned quickly thanks to animal rights advocates. How do you feel about this kind of show? Let us know in the comments. Here are some scenes from the famous La Tomatina festival in Spain. The event is essentially a massive tomato fight, where the only allowed weapon is tomatoes. It's a great way to settle any dispute. If you didn't know what it was, you might think these are scenes from a horror movie. More than 140 tons of tomatoes are thrown during the week of the festival. You might have a certain idea of what an anchor looks like, but have you ever seen one from a gigantic ship? This is it. Imagine the kind of engine required to handle something this huge. But that's not all. In a big ship, everything is big. For instance, this propeller is as big as a small building. Or take one of the several engine shafts. It's amazing how quickly humanity has gone from sailing ships to this. It's hard to figure out what's going on here, but judging by this track, it seems like a race. The hardest part is probably determining who finished first. See how these people are all lined up? It's amazing, but they're the ones controlling the cars. How do they manage to make sense of anything in all this chaos, let alone make decisions? In this type of race, it's not about finishing first. Instead, the winner is the one who covers the most distance within the given time. He must have been told to go outside and play a lot when he was a kid, and that's exactly what he did. It's hard to say what the artist wanted to say with this installation, but one thing's for sure, he definitely knows how to make an impression. When you see something so massive that it looks human, you really experience the full effect of the uncanny valley.
Namelijk het scheppen van kunstmatig en intelligent leven in één. Maar als dit uit de hand loopt, dan zijn we allemaal ter dode opgeschreven.
Lobsters are one of those creatures that can impress with their variety of colors, almost as if the universe released a customization DLC just for them. Some of them are incredibly rare. Check this out. This tiger lobster has an intimidating claw. This is a split-colored lobster. It's like the Two-Face of the crustacean world. How about the blue lobster? Only 1 out of 2 million lobsters is blue. The reason is an excess of protein in its body. These aren't mere cosplayers, but members of the legendary Manti tribe, known in Indonesian myths. Their hairstyles suggest that hair holds deep spiritual significance for them. Right now, you're looking at a unique welding method called friction welding. It doesn't require any filler material or welding machine, just a machine capable of spinning the parts quickly. Sometimes, ordinary natural phenomena seem like a glitch in the universe. The guy who filmed this video discovered that you can see both day and night at once through the airplane windows. In this video, you can see the phenomenon from the water. It looks not only beautiful, but also a bit eerie. I hope he's just demonstrating the unusual effects of shooting underwater and not preparing for a fishing trip. Turns out water makes a pretty decent silencer.
Go.
You wouldn't normally picture a bus driver as a natural-born racer, but who knows? They might just be. This competition is all about school bus drivers showing off their wild driving skills. England is home not only to Banksy, but also to the creator of this statue, which was made for the 2012 London Olympics. Every day from 3 to 3:30 p.m, it performs push-ups. So what's your excuse? In the Middle Ages, they really knew how to have a good time. Trebuchets were, of course, not invented for fun, but there's nothing stopping us from using these siege engines for amusement today. It's incredibly mesmerizing, and the fireballs look just like comets. A drawbridge probably doesn't impress people much these days. However, the retractable bridge in London is a different story. It might seem like just another part of the city's infrastructure, but the emotions you get from interacting with it are truly unforgettable. That moment when you ask your hairstylist to do whatever they think looks best. I'm almost afraid to ask how much time it takes to create a style like this, or would it be more accurate to say design? You've probably seen or played Rocket League before. Well, turns out that you can actually play it in real life. In this version, cars are the main players, and excavators take on the role of the goalkeepers. The key is to make sure that this type of football doesn't eventually turn into a derby.
This is looking good for Silver, though. I like this. Oh, what a gnarly. Oh, what?
Some people believe that there's no need to reinvent the wheel, but the creators of these bikes certainly disagree. Have you ever tried riding a limousine bicycle? It'd be amusing to see one of these on the Tour de France. Cruise ships have come a long way since the Titanic. This Norwegian liner is like a floating island of entertainment. You can ride a go-kart and even visit an arcade. It feels like you're not in the middle of the ocean, but in a mall in your own city. This unusual mirror made of pom-poms resembles a swarm of bees, not just in sound, but also in behavior. A motion sensor tracks anyone approaching and starts to reflect them on the surface. We often don't recognize that we're living in the very future we once saw in sci-fi films. Just take a look. One problem with this design is that people tend to take a lot of mirror selfies. All that's left is to add a nuclear reactor, and we'll have a real-life Iron Man. This thing looks like a plant from the Alien universe with not so friendly intentions. But in reality, it's a crinoid, a completely harmless creature. They first appeared in the middle of the Cambrian period, nearly 300 million years before dinosaurs existed. It's amazing how little they've changed since then. This show is for kids, but I'm sure adults will be just as impressed. There is, of course, a scientific explanation for this. It's all about Bernoulli's principle. This principle, used in aerodynamics, states that the total energy along a streamline of a liquid or gas remains constant. this isn't the first launch of the ship, as you might have thought. The vessel has already undergone numerous tests and is now ready for new challenges. This type of elevator is used to lift ships for repair work. The repairs can be carried out on site, but the ship might also be transported elsewhere to make room for other vessels. When it comes to changing color, most people think of chameleons, but it turns out that they're not the best at it. Just look at the camouflage skills of this squid. As soon as you land in Singapore, you'll find yourself amazed by the attractions right at the airport. It's hard not to be amazed by the stunning waterfall there. Meet the Cecropia moth, the largest moth in North America. It's impressive not only for its size, but also for its charm. Just in case you're collecting unusual sports, add coffin racing to your list. This festival first took place in 1994, and since then there have been no shortage of people eager to take a thrilling final journey. This toaster was made in the 1920s. It definitely was ahead of its time. With this device, you never have to worry about losing your keys. In fact, it makes any redesign much simpler. Yes, it's just an optical illusion. But what if you drew a cliff right in the middle of a ski slope? That huge, hairy cube looks like it belongs in a horror movie. You'd never guess it's actually a work of art, right? But that's exactly what it is. A 20-meter installation unveiled by English architects at the 2010 Shanghai Expo. Made of 60,000 thin, transparent fiber optic rods, it really does resemble hair from a distance.
Này, hàng này là hàng hiếm. Con này là chỉ có ở vùng biển là... Đúng rồi, con này mắc lắm. Con này chỉ có ở vùng biển. Con này chỉ có ở vùng biển Quy Nhơn với lại Sa Huỳnh Quảng Ngãi thôi. Nó đặc biệt là nó chỉ có hai cái vùng biển đó mới có. Ở miền Trung chỉ có hai vùng biển này, nước khá là sâu nên mới có, chứ còn ở mẹ nói để mẹ nói. Ở Việt Nam thì không có. Con giới thiệu.
Singapore's a great example of how a modern metropolis can live in harmony with nature. Even though the entire garden's under a glass dome, it still feels like it's always been there, long before humans arrived. This forest is so vast that you could easily get lost in it, just like in a real wilderness. Cooking while you're on a boat is a breeze. You don't need to stir anything. The waves do it for you. Sometimes the creation of machines goes hand in hand with high art. Animatronics are a perfect example of this. Even though the artist's work can be quite eerie, it doesn't make it any less impressive. We don't always understand how the things around us work every day. Let's fix that.
இன்னைக்கு நம்ம சேனல்ல சமைக்க போறது ஆட்டு குடல் கறி, அதாவது ஆட்டு போட்டி. இன்னைக்கு தரமான சம்பவம் இருக்குது. எல்லாரும் வீடியோ முழுசா பாருங்க.
You'll see today why messing with the primal forces of nature is a bad idea. We've collected stunning videos from different corners of the globe to show just how terrifying and unpredictable our planet can be. Let's get it on. Avalanches are one of the greatest dangers faced by climbers. In this shocking video, captured by tourists in Pakistan, you can see what it's like to confront a massive wall of snow hurtling towards you at incredible speed. Thankfully, everything turned out okay this time. But it's a stark reminder that an avalanche moving at 30 meters per second leaves no hope for survival. Here's why you shouldn't mess around with volcanoes, especially with active ones like Yasur on Tanna Island. It's almost impossible to predict when a new eruption phase will start. Just as the man was setting up his camera dangerously close to the crater, a loud explosion went off, sending hundreds of lava bombs into the air. He was lucky that the searing debris didn't come his way. Nothing showcases the sheer power of nature quite like massive tornadoes. This monstrous twister was spotted in Kansas in 2016. The police patrol cars look like toys next to it.
Hey, let's get up to it. It's gonna rope out here. It's gonna rope out.
Wait, you can't get in. Hold on.
And the moment the tornado disappears is truly magical.
Wait, first place.
This is one of those times when history happens right in front of you. In the spring of 2022, a centuries-old bridge in northern Pakistan collapsed, unable to withstand the surge of a flooding river. All the locals and rescue workers could do was helplessly witness the raw power of nature. Nature's forces can be so sudden that people find themselves completely helpless against them. This was the case in New Delhi, the capital of India, where heavy rains caused a small stream in the eastern part of the city to swell, and within a few hours, carve out a massive sinkhole. The growing sinkhole shocked onlookers as it swallowed more and more soil and trees. Eventually, the water eroded the foundation of a nearby building, causing the two-story structure to collapse into the chasm. Fortunately, the residents had managed to evacuate the building before it was too late. It's hard to believe, but this massive boulder came to a stop just inches away from a house. Had it rolled just a bit farther, it would have completely destroyed the building. This devastating landslide struck the small northern Italian community of Tremin. For generations, local farmers have been growing grapes undisturbed by the nearby mountain, until one January day when 4,000 cubic meters of rock suddenly came crashing down from the cliff. Some buildings weren't so lucky. A stone barn which had stood for about 300 years was completely destroyed. Even ancient mountains like the Alps can be terrifyingly unpredictable. That time when nature has other plans. You wanted to capture a stunning panorama of the storm, but a lightning strike hits just 10 meters away from you. Few things are more shocking than a lightning bolt suddenly striking your car. In the Chinese city of Ningbo, a driver experienced a terrifying moment while driving during a heavy rainstorm. Dashcam footage shows a powerful lightning strike hitting the car's hood, causing the man to instinctively slam on the brakes. Fortunately, the driver was unharmed, but the car wouldn't start after the strike. A lightning strike directly hitting a vehicle typically causes an electrical surge that damages the insulation of its electronics. Sometimes people have to escape the wrath of nature as if they were action movie heroes. This startling incident took place in the mountainous Sichuan province of China. A huge landslide descended from the mountains onto a modern road, and despite the protective barriers, it struck the tunnel. Landslides can be extremely dangerous, with speeds sometimes reaching several meters per second. For instance, the Vam Nao River in Anjiang province eroded a huge section of its bank one Saturday morning, taking out 16 houses. Fortunately, the residents had noticed cracks a few days earlier and managed to evacuate their homes in time. Retaining walls can delay disaster, but if the land isn't fit for building, nature will ultimately have its way.
Singson petrol pump chu a chim taru.
Where the land is. Alright, that's the settings. Yeah, so where the lounge is, move the lounge out if you have to and get against that wall. Alright, always in behind the lounge. Alright.
That's what makes hurricanes in the city especially risky. You never know if the roof of the building next door is going to hold up. Here's what could happen if you build a house in a flood-prone area. This incident illustrates how attempts to control the forces of nature can backfire. The river breaks through its concrete channel, disappearing into underground cavities and posing a threat to the surrounding areas.
А вы что, для бабушки в гарь хотите?
Да ну нафиг, пошлите отсюда.
This is what a moderate storm in the severe northern seas looks like. With waves reaching around 3 meters in height. It's hard to miss a tornado when it's approaching. The key is to stay calm and find shelter away from anything that could be dangerous. An impressive wedge tornado was observed in Uruguay. Sometimes the diameter of these tornadoes can even exceed their height. Hail seems like a pretty ordinary weather phenomenon, until it starts smashing your car windows. You can imagine the shock of a woman in the car when this bombardment began. During the summer of 2023, a severe hailstorm hit cities in southern Germany. The hail was so heavy that it had to be shoveled off the sidewalks like snow. Cars parked outside suffered the most damage, and a number of trees were brought down.
Papa, guck mal hier. Mama, die Kennzeichen.
The sheer intensity of the hail even damaged building facades. The storm in Scotland turned the stretched tent into a toy. Imagine the shock of those people when the streets of their city turned into raging rivers. Water gushed from everywhere, even out of shop windows. This sudden flood hit Genoa, a port city in northern Italy, in 2010. A sea storm caused an extraordinary surge, and the Zanino and Monferrato rivers that flow through the city overwhelmed the underground drainage system, completely flooding two historic districts. Along with basements and ground floors, many cars were carried off by the floodwaters for hundreds of meters. Strong winds turned a simple ski lift ride into an extreme adventure. At times, the weather can be totally uninviting for these kinds of activities.
Aida! Aida!
A hurricane literally tears the roof off a school building in Poland. It's a shocking sight. This caravan was caught in a flood in southwestern Germany.
Das sind die Bilder, von denen man uns hier eben berichtet hat, von 2016. Der Wohnwagen wird jetzt in diese Brücke einschlagen und wahrscheinlich dabei zerstört werden. Hoffentlich ist dieser Wohnwagen leer, da ist noch ein Vorzelt dran. Den zerreißt in diesem Moment, den hat es quasi wie durch die...
The River Ahr, a tributary of the Rhine, was so swollen that it crushed the van against a stone bridge support, as though it were a flimsy can. The strength of the floodwaters is remarkable. Even though it's the result of a controlled explosion in a quarry, the scene is incredibly impressive, just like the bravery of that excavator operator. It's an unforgettable experience to see such a weather phenomenon right in your room while watching the weather forecast.
This is a tornado. This is a tornado. We're in the middle of a tornado here in the hotel. We are in the middle of a tornado. We are in the middle of a tornado.
It looks like nature has a sense of humor too. Here are some cases where trees topple right in front of oncoming vehicles.
Damn, there's more coming down. Jesus, Pee-wee. Double whammy.
An impressive snow attack filmed in San Miguel County, Colorado. An avalanche roared down into the valley, burying part of the buildings. Judging by the operator's voice, it was an incredibly thrilling experience.
God, the wind. Crazy. Whew.
It's surprising, but hail can be dangerous indoors too. During a fierce storm in Australia, hail and strong winds joined forces to break windows and create a disaster inside the home. In late 2014, Brisbane, the capital of Queensland, was hit by one of the most intense storms in decades. Though it lasted just half an hour, the storm brought wind gusts of up to 40 meters per second, heavy rain and hail, causing damage to the roofs of 2,000 homes. Power lines were downed, and several planes at the airport were overturned. The total damage, including payouts for tens of thousands of insurance claims, exceeded $1 billion. This natural disaster struck Oberstdorf, a small town community in the Bavarian Alps known for its ski resorts. After a heavy downpour, torrents of water rushed down from the mountains into the village. It looked like a mudslide, with water bringing in heavy stones and debris. The worst part was that the flow went directly through the homes and yards of local people. Rescue teams had to work hard, using makeshift concrete barriers to divert the muddy torrents away from the houses. A massive arch at the entrance of a shopping centre in Cape Town, South Africa, collapsed due to strong winds. Just seconds before it fell, a car drove right under it. Imagine the surprise of seeing that in your rearview mirror. Hailstones come in all sizes, from a few millimeters to a few centimeters in diameter. Yet, the ones that struck near Verona were as big as billiard balls. Another unusual aspect was that the hailstorm occurred during the night, which is quite rare.
Olha a casa, conselho. Meu Deus do céu. Sai daí! Pera, sai! Sai
After an intense downpour in Tokyo, where some areas got 52.5 millimeters of rain in just an hour, one subway station turned into a makeshift water park. The stairs and escalators looked more like waterfalls, and people had to wade through knee-deep water to get out. The city's drainage systems were caught completely off guard by this deluge. During a storm in Saudi Arabia, a fierce wind hurled debris into a glass display of a high-end shop, causing significant damage.
When the whole... we gotta listen.
This is what a flood looks like through the eyes of someone who's actually there. It's impressive how they stay positive in the face of such a catastrophe.
Wow. Hey! How you doing? That's disgusting. I don't know what else to do for my damaging stuff. Like, it's just coming in. If we can just put it...
The storm surge from Hurricane Ian in 2022 led to devastating floods in southwest Florida's cities. Facing a rockfall like this is a real test of composure. Clearly, this mountain road will be closed for a long time. One of the most breathtaking mountain landslides was captured on video on Mount Rainier in Washington state. The rockfall, traveling at high speed, crashed into the glacier face with incredible speed, forever transforming the mountain's familiar profile. A major landslide on one of Argentina's mountain roads has taken place, but luckily it was anticipated. The ice breakup on a spring river is one of the most stunning natural events you can see. However, ice jams can also be quite dangerous, especially if they lead to blockages.